Hello there, hobby homies. All my hobbies back again. We're going to bust another box of magic. Before we do that, though, I'd like to take a minute and thank the two newest subscribers, new additions to the hobby homie clan, the squad, the crew, the clique. Call it what you want. Didn't tell me their names, but I still appreciate you nevertheless. Thanks for joining the squad. Box we're going to open today is Magic the Dominaria. Got a booster box of it. Let me grab it for you and we can get this party started. From out of nowhere, we're back. We're gonna crack this thing open, see what we got. Still in the plastic, good to go. Let's see what we get out of this one. Don't fall on me. Now let's see what the first pack brings us. Hopefully lots of good joy. We can tear it open. There it is. Arc Charge, Shivan Fire, Ancient Animus, Goblin War Chief, Memorial to War, Demon Lord Belzenlock, Legendary Creature, Elder Demon, Flying Trample. Center a little bit. When Demon Lord Belzenlock enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card, then put that card into your hand. If that card's converted mana cost is 4 or greater, repeat this process. Demon Lord Belzenlock deals 1 damage to you for each card put in your hand this way. There's some little bit of shimmer and shine. Pierce the Sky, Cabal Paladin, Arcane Flight, Sergeant at Arms, Vicious Offering, Short Sword, Keldon Raider, Skizik, Settle the Score, Nanatha Capuchin Paragon, First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. Aura and equipment spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Interesting. Antiquities War, Enchantment, Saga. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. Artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5 until end of turn. 5/5 until end of turn. Oh, there's some more wide diamonds. Another Scout, Rescue, Sarah Disciple, Arbor Armament, Call the Cavalry, Power Stone Shard, Keldon Raider, Night Malice, Rona Disciple of Gix, the Mirari Conjecture. As the socket enters and after you draw a step, add a lower counter, sacrifice after 3. Return target instant card from your graveyard to your hand. Return target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand until end of turn. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. Let's see what's next. shopped at the store today. They still haven't gotten my Modern Horizons or my Unstable. Probably be another week. On Sarah's Wings, Rite of Bells and Lock. Create 2/0/1 black cleric creature tokens. Create a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying trample, and at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice another creature. If you can't, this creature deals 6 damage to you. And there's some more. Invoke the Divine. Navigator's Compass. Blink of an eye. A lot of eyes. Icy Manipulator. Forebear's Blade. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has Vigilance and Trample. Whenever equipped creature dies, attach Forebear's Blade to target creature you control. Equip 3 mana. Another one. Warcry Phoenix. Oh, so close. Feels like it's going to. Opt. Charge. Landmark Scout. Maze Unicorn. Jousting Lance. Do a lot with it. Naban, Dean of Iteration. If a wizard entering the battlefield under your control causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Nightmare Horror. Order 2 boxes of the new. The Pharaohs, or the Pharaohs, whatever it was. Order 2 boxes of those today, too. We'll be getting those the 19th. Zahad, Djinn of the Lamp. You may pay 3 and the blue and tap an untapped artifact and you control rather than pay the spell's mana cost. Flying. Sarah Disciple. Skin. Short Sword. Zalfrin Boyd. Groon the Lonely King. Antiquities War. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Artifacts you control become artifact creatures with base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. There's some more. There you go. Hit with the light. Paya. Excavation Elephant. Pierce the Sky. Navigator's Compass. Blink of an Eye. Sarah Angel. Tiana Ship's Caretaker. Thran Temporal Gateway. You may put a historic permanent card from your hand into the battlefield. Cute. Oh, wow. Here we go. There's some precious right there. Multani Yavamaya's Avatar. Reach Trample. Multani Yavamaya's Avatar gets +1/+1. For each land you control and each land card in your graveyard, return 2 lands you control to their owner's hand. Return Multani from your graveyard to your hand. Come on. Invoke the Divine, Fire Elemental, Relic Runner, Sapling Negation, Academy Journey Mage, Valda, Keeper of the Flame, Dread Shade, a creature. Shade, Dread Shade gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Frenzy Rage, Feral Abomination, Stronghold Confessor, Sergeant Arms Run Amok. Pretty cool looking. Call of Cavalry, Memorial to Glory, Sanctum Spirit, Rona, Disciple of Gix. Precognition Field. You may look at the top card of your library. You may do this at any time. You may cast the top card of your library. If it's an instant or sorcery card, exile the top card of your library. Planes. Fervent Strike, Feral Abomination, Relic Runner, Skittering Surveyor, Wizard's Lightning, Whisper Blood Liturgist, Goblin Chain Whirler. That's cool looking. First strike, when Goblin Chain Whirler enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature and planeswalker they control. The trick is, once you get moving, don't stop. Sound advice from a goblin. Befuddle. Charge. Amazing Unicorn. Short Sword. Dalid Soothsayer. Icy Manipulator. Song of Free Lines. Ever a Halcyon Witness. Lifelink. Exchange your life total with the Evra Halcyon Witness's power. Shiny Mountain. Whatever it takes, I suppose. Probably open a box of Cyberpunk next week. Rat Colony, Ship and Fire, Memorial to War, Lingering Phantom, Yargle Glutton of Yearborg, Cabal Stronghold, it's the land. I'm struggling with these today, like I never do, but these seem to have more problems. Healing Grace, Pierce the Sky, Cabal Paladin, Sergeant at Arms, Sarah Angel, Wrath Capuchin Ship's Mage, Hinterland Harbor. Hinterland Harbor enters battlefield tapped. It's a land. I'm hoping this box will put me somewhat close to building the set. Fungal Infection, Gift of Growth, Chainer's Torment, in Bolus Clutches, Traxus Scourge the Krug, Scourge of Krug, Trample. When Traxus enters the battlefield tapped, he enters the battlefield tapped and does not untap during your untap phase. Whenever you cast a historic spell, untap Traxus. Kind of like the RC car. It's got like 3 of those. We got a T-Max, a T-Max 2.5. Then I got the VTEC. It's a little street car. It's about 60. I haven't played with those in years. Tetsuko Umezawa Fugitive. Daring Archaeologist. When Daring Archaeologist enters the battlefield, you may return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast a historic spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Daring Archaeologist. Mountain Song. There we go. Corrosive Ooze. Soul Salvage. Run Amok. Blood Tallow Candle. Nature Spiral. Black Blade Reforged. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. Equipped legendary creature. 7. Must be doing something wrong. Cabal Paladin. Invoke the Divine. Broken Bond. Run Amok. Cloud Reader Sphinx. Eldest Reborn. Board the Weatherlight. Aerial Knight of Windgrace. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance. Tap X, untap knights you control. Destroy target creature with power X or less. Dark Bargain. Arcane Flight Dub. Fight with Fire. Sylvan Awakening. Until your next turn, all lands you control become +2/+2 elemental creatures with reach, indestructible, and haste. They're still lands. Tolarian Scholar, Tragic Poet, Mammoth Spider, Jousting Lance, there it is again, Memorial to Unity, Grun the Lonely King, Karn, Scion of Earthra. Reveal the top 2 cards to your library. An opponent chooses one of them. Put the card in your hand and exile the other with a silver counter on it. Put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. Create a 0/0 colors construct artifact creature token with this creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Relic Runner, Feral Abomination, Navigator's Compass, Memorial to Glory, Shauna Sisay's Legend, Isolated Chapel. So isolated. Territorial Allosaurus. There's some more precious for you. Creature, dinosaur, kicker. When Territorial Allosaurus enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, it fights another target creature. Sergeant at Arms, Venturous Impulse, Fungal Infection, Deep Freeze, Wild Onslaught, Sentinel of the Pearl Trident, Memorial to Folly, Squee the Immortal, You may cast Squee the Immortal from your graveyard or from exile. You gotta be pretty smart to live long as me, but not being able to die helps. Checks out. There we go. Barring Construct, Eviscerate, Landmar Elves, Juggernaut, Iragos the Empty One. Haphazard Bombardment. When Haphazard Bombardment enters the battlefield, choose 4 non-enchantment permanents you don't control and put an aim counter on each of them. At the beginning of your step, if 2 or more permanents you don't control have an aim counter on them, destroy one of those permanents at random. Grow from the Ashes. Dub. Rolling on dubs. Champion of the Flame. Chalet, Voice of Plenty. Flying. You, planeswalkers you control, and other creatures you control have hexproof. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Forest. Warlord's Fury. Seal Away, Cast Down, Valdut, Keeper of the Flame. Urza's Ruinous Blast. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary. Night. Care for me. Demonic Vigor. Corrosive Ooze. Divinish. Run Amok. Damping Sphere. Orcish Vandal. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Draw a card at the beginning of the next end step. Untap 2 lands. Put target non-land permanent into its owner's library. 3rd from the top. That's quite specific. You get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. Emblem. Ancient Animus. Gideon's Reproach. Death Bloom Thallid. Della's the Cinder Wind. Jaya's Immolating Inferno. Deals X damage to each of up to 3 targets. Come on, show me a little bit of love. Try to get it from the back here. There it is. Dark Bargain, Unwind. Warlord's Fury, Rampaging Cyclops. Blink of an Eye, Time of Ice, Cast Down, Fungal Plops. Squee the Immortal, there's another one. Not being able to die helps. Skittering Surveyor. Short Sword. Final Parting. Quind, Pride of Fenirith. Oath of Teferi. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. You may activate the loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than only once. Grow from the ashes. Primordial Worm, Gift of Growth, Fungal Infection, Warcry Phoenix, Tiana Ship's Caretaker, Primeval's Glorious Rebirth. You may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature. Return all legendary permanent cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Night. Something happened there. Oh, look at that. Cyberpunk cards did. Dub. Jousting Lance. Spore Swarm. Danitha Capuchin Paragon. Helm of the Host. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary if equipped creature is legendary. That token gains haste. And I've got tons of single packs too, like that I'd gotten for Christmas, and I've just been collecting, so I need to eventually start opening that stuff. Memorial to Genius, Goblin War Chief, Joda Archmage, Eternal. Flying, you may pay a lot of different mana, rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast. And then I got some other little packs my wife got me for Christmas. Open those up for you too eventually. I'll get to them, I promise. I got a lot of stuff to open. And that's just the magic. Mishra's Self-Replicator. Whenever you cast a historic spell, you may pay 1. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Mishra's Self-Replicator. And I'm not kidding, I've got to have 100 sets of Legos that I need to build. I promise I'll start doing that eventually. Man, a spider, blink of an eye, Shivan Fire, Skizzik, Slin Boda, the Rising Deep, Gilded Lotus, Artifact, add 3 mana of any one color. Mammoth Spider with the foil. Last pack. Landmore Elves, Eldest Reborn, Wrath, Capuchin, Ship's Mage, Siege Gang Commander. When Siege Gang Commander enters the battlefield, create 3/1/1 Red Goblin creature token. Sacrifice a Goblin Siege Gang Commander. Deals 2 damage to any target. Ready, fire. And that's the end of that one. And this is what we got here. The Gang Commander, Gilded Lotus, Mishra Self-Replicator, Joda Archmage, Eternal, Helm of the Host, Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, Oath of Teferi, Squee the Immortal, Jaeha's Immolating Inferno, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Urza's Ruinous Blast, Shay, Voice of Plenty, Haphazard Bombardment, another Squee the Immortal, Territorial Allosaurus, that's with some shine, Isolated Chapel, Karn, Scion of Urza, Sylvian Awakening, Aerial Knight of Windgrace, Black Blade Reforged, Daring Archaeologist, Traxxas Scourge of Krug, Hinterland Harbor, Cabal Stronghold, Evra Halcyon Witness, Goblin Chain Whirler, Precognition Field, Dread Shade, Multani Yavamaya's Avatar. That's with some blingage on it. Thran Temporal Gateway, The Antiquities of War, Zahid Shin of the Lamp, Nabin Dean of Iteration, Forebear's Blade, Rite of Belzenlock, The Mirari Conjecture, Antiquities of War, Demon Lord Belzenlock. That's what we ended up with this round. Good deal, can't complain. Thanks for watching. See you about the end of the video. Once again, thanks to the 2 new subscribers, new hobby homies. If I knew your names, I'd give you a shout out. Doesn't say, but no worries. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. You like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll have more videos for you later.